Did somebody say race time? Because I'm Ray, and this is harness racing. And I don't know why I'm choosing to start the show like this. Just because I'm running the operation this week, I feel like I have to start it in like this old kind of folk-timey kind of way. And this is just North American Irons Update. I'm in my basement. Mike's not in his basement, but he's going to be on screen momentarily. But we're back here for another week. Void Rod, he got caught up on assignment. Last week we revealed that he in fact does do his own laundry, but this week he never got to it, and the stench just he had to go. He's currently on the move, trying to find a new location that he can hopefully not stink up as much as he did his previous place. Outside of this, a couple of things were going on here with tonight. I don't know what that sentence meant. We got racing to talk about from the Meadowlands, from Mohawk, from Rosecroft, and of course we have the third week of our Cap-In contest sponsored by Bow River Jewelry, with the first two legs already in the books, and Mr. Tony Elliott deciding to take the chalk in both of them and just being ahead of me by chance of math. But now, tonight, in these next few races, is where the skill comes into play. A reminder also to everyone watching and seeing just what is capable of the everyday man like myself, to be broadcasting to the world on a Dell G7 Inspiron laptop with a NVIDIA GeForce 1060 graphics card and an Intel i7 processor, all words that I know every person understands. All of this, our broadcast, also able to happen, we like to remind you, in part due to our new infrastructure, the Blobberts broadcasting system. With the Blobberts broadcasting system, we're able to bring you fabulous content, including this show tonight, as well as a split screen featuring the other host of the show, Mr. Mike Prebosi. This isn't 3 wide. Why is 3 wide up? But Mr. Mike Prebosi, nonetheless, still here.
Hola.
So, Mike, you just saw, we were just watching the last two races of this contest so far. Last week, Rod decimated Rusty Nash with, thanks to, he had Zlatan. That was one horse he had like 15-1. He ended up winning with like 130 points to Rusty's 30. But now this week is another week where someone's going against me. And just so far ahead with only taking the favorites. Huh?
Hey, it's not how, it's how many.
Wait, it's not how. I feel like it's how, not how many.
No, it's how many. That's what matters.
How many winners? No, that feels.
How much money at the end?
Oh, that's different. That plays more in my favor than it does in his favor. And that's ultimately what I'm worried about. But that contest will be ongoing through this show, as well as our coverage of Pick 4 action from the Meadowlands and Mohawk. Meadowlands Pick 4, I believe, is coming up first in race 6. It's a $50,000 guarantee.
To add the thing to the website for some reason tonight.
Oh, it's not working for you? Oh no, please just take your time. Do. We're not on the air or anything. We're not live. We have people watching. There's nobody out there in their kitchen with their phone turned sideways trying to whip together their nightly harness sandwich, because they got to watch harness racing with their little bolognas and cheese in between 2 pieces of white bread, and they just start putting it in their mouth. And I got a little bit of refreshment to wash it down.
Hungry?
I'm not saying I'm hungry, although I have some enchiladas upstairs for after the show. I'm just saying that when you try when you try to eat a bologna and cheese sandwich with in between 2 pieces of white bread, it gets a little dry. The meat's not necessarily the wettest, and so you need to get some sort of beverage to try and get it down your food tube.
Your food tube?
I'm using exclusively medical terms that I know you'd understand.
Okay then.
Meantime, let's get talking about some of this Pick 4 action, starting in race 6 at the Meadowlands. That race in particular, a numbers of $7,500 their last 5 trotting event for a purse of $13,500. And all of you out there with programs can follow us along. And if you don't have a program, I'm sorry, I can't help you. I tried to help you at one point, but then the Supreme Court called me and they said, listen, young boy, you got to stop doing this. And I had to ask the Supreme Court to, if anything, not address me as young boy. Race 6, trotting event. You still embedding, Mike?
I have failed so far.
You have failed so far? Well, how about this? How about we exchange vocation? I will handle that while you talk about your pick 4 ticket.
Yeah, I'm trying to. Actually close the program too, which I'm doing a fabulous job here tonight.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, please take your time.
Give me 30 seconds to get the program.
All right, 30 seconds is perfect time for everyone out there to finish making your bologna and cheese sandwich. And maybe eat the first half. You don't want to eat the second. You don't want to eat both halves immediately because every meal is meant to be an experience. It's supposed to be a moment where you're able to reflect on everything that has been and will at some point be. And you do that by consuming what was.
Okay, I'm good.
All right, you're good now? I'm done. I didn't want to wax poetic too much anyway. We're only like 8 minutes into this show. So, race 6, conditioned trotting event for a purse of 13.5. You are 4 deep.
Yeah, 4 deep. I really like this pick 4 tonight. I think it's going to pay decent, and I think it's very much worth betting. Last week was very good also. I just couldn't string it together. But in any case, the 2, Rentier, is my first horse in the race, who moves inside here, gets a driver switch, and it's going to be a price. What is the price right now?
I wouldn't know because I'm trying to embed the feed.
Oh, they're still on race 5, so we have a little bit of time. So this horse is 15-1 morning line, and rallied last week, pretty much an impossible spot. Won 7 times last year, and I feel like from this post, this race is pretty wide open here. This is a lot of droppers. Any kind of trip here. This horse won a Pocono 3 back. That one's a use. The 3, Max Bolo. You get Jingra here. You get a much better post. This horse has had 10, 8, 9, 3 out of the last 4 races. When the horse did have a good post on February 14th, was a winner as the favorite. Now, this is a little bit tougher spot, but, I don't mind this horse from this post getting a setup and, has been known to win at a price at times. So we use that one. The 7, Therapeutic. This horse raced last time against Rubber Duck in that numbers of 6,500 last 4. And, rallied pretty well. Was wide, kicked 28-2 to be 4th. Only getting beat a length in that race, though. And there were better horses in that race. Won 5 times last year, 43 lifetime wins. Plenty of back class for this horse. And I think at this level it's competitive. And then the 8, Smoky Mirrors, has been racing at Pocono. 7-hole last time. Just completely tossed that race out. Prior to that, was getting checks, at Pocono at similar levels. Gets back to the big track. Didn't race bad here on January 31st. Finished 3rd in numbers of 10,000 last 5 against Latin, who won last week. I'll use that one also. 2, 3, 7, 8.
Oh, thank you for finishing your numbers as I was still doing this, so I could present my numbers.
Oh, good.
I'm not as deep as you in this race. I don't think it's as open of a contest. If it was as open of a contest, hell, I might have taken like 20 horses, 30 horses. I would just start buying horses left and right because that is the joy of choice. But that's not the choice I had to make. I agree on Max Volo. Max Volo is drawing into a prime spot for his sort of ability. Typically, he races best around the numbers at 3,500, 6,500 level, and then last out had post 10 against numbers at 10,000 against Zlatan, Marion Gondolier, Carrick, horses that are much classier than most of the others in this field. So the return to the class that he's most comfortable with most likely helps him perform in this race. Most likely just tries to go to the front like he did 2 starts and 3 starts back, and in particular 3 starts back when he wired the field. That might be the situation that happens here unless he faces any sort of real challenge. Outside of him, Therapeutic raced well since shipping from Dover. He finished 4th against Rubber Duck last time when he wired the field, and also the Big Muscle Infinity odds. Again, some trotting stallions and geldings that have been racing above the class grade of the rest of this field. So I give Therapeutic a bit of a mulligan for finishing fourth, even though he came trotting home fairly sharply in 28-2 to gain 6 lengths in the stretch. He's just probably gonna have to sit a bit closer than that to have as much bigger impact on this race than he did last out, despite the rest of this field struggling to find their stride. So I'm going to go 3-7 in the first leg of that pick 4. Race 7, the second leg of the pick 4. An hours of 11.5 trotting event for a purse of $17,000. Mike, you and I agree that this is probably the toughest race in the sequence.
Very difficult, I thought. A lot of horses dropping and have had some trips and things. The one Muscle Fashion was 40-1 last time versus numbers of 15,000. That's the Obligado Warrior 1. Those are a little bit tougher than these. And this horse finished well, kicked 28-2 in a 53-4 mile. That's a fast race. It draws inside. Pat Barry driving very well. I'll use that one at a price. The 3 Carrick made several moves last time. In that 30 optional claimer. Now, I feel like that this race might be a little tougher than that one, but this horse was hammered in that race, was 4-5, and just got picked off late by Zlatan, who was flying. I think you have to use this one, and probably going to be rock low on the board again. The 6 Fashion Creditor, second back. No chance last time against Obligado from the 7 hole, but did finish up in 28. Prior to that was racing at upper levels. And, it's always competitive. Won 7 times last year. Pretty tough to ignore in this spot. The 7, For a Dreamer. Another one racing at these upper levels. Tough post last time. Really no chance. Callahan drove this horse very well on January 3rd to be second. And just another one that kind of fits depending on trip. And I think, could have a chance depending on how it shakes out. And then the 8, Top Flight Angel. Probably ends up, the favorite or second favorite in the race. Has been second the last 2 times. Kicked 27 last time. 27-4, 2 back. Just missing to some very informed horses. This horse is made in over 900,000 for the Millers. You have to use this one. 1, 3, 6, 7, 8.
I also use Top Flight Angel, not necessarily because I have to, but because I want to. The horse has been racing fairly decently in his last couple of starts. The one qualm I have in particular is he's been off for not almost a month, but at least a couple of weeks, 2 or 3 weeks, and now drops in class. I miss. Still, that's a week missed. That's sometimes an issue. Not necessarily a big qualm from me. It's not even a moderately sized qualm. It's a itty bitty qualm. Still a qualm though, just not a big qualm. I'm not a big qualm guy with Top Flight Angel. The horse has a ton of class. The horse tends to race well. It's going to be a matter of how hard he pushes off the gate. If Top Flight Angel gets a spot towards the middle of the pack, as he typically has from outside posts, he should be golden. If he ends up sitting 9th or 10th, he's screwed. Simple as that. Outside of Top Flight Angel, because if I loved Top Flight Angel, I'd single him, but I don't love him, and I like others in this field, so I spread. In particular, and in the contest, I took a shot with Muscle Fashion to the inside. This horse is making a drop in class after finishing 3rd against Obligado, and Warrior 1. Warrior 1 also a trotter on this circuit, working his way up towards the higher class ranks, as evidenced by the fact that he won at this level, or won against the level above this 2 starts ago, and then was second to the former free-for-all trotting star Obligado in his most recent start. Follow my sentences here, please. Now Muscle Fashion drops back to a class where he should be able to fit, because look 4 starts back against Nowers of 75. I understand this is Nowers of 11.5. A bit of a tougher job for Muscle Fashion, but he has an inside draw again, and with his lack of gate speed, that should be able to get him into that kind of tactical middle spot that could drag him into the race the same way it did 4 starts ago. And given that, he's not up against those tough horses, if anything, the tougher horses are on the outside with a disadvantage, maybe Muscle Fashion's able to eke something out at a bit of a price. That's my theory. I'm sticking to it. Carrick I use not necessarily as a great contender. If anything, it's what Mike would describe as a defensive use, because he raced fine last week. He was supposed to win as the odds-on favorite. The one credit I give him is that Zlatan beat him, and Zlatan's a much classier trotter, at least based off of the miles Carrick has put in than Carrick. So this time around, making his second start over this surface, third start off a brief little break. He should improve. He should finish the mile, unlike he did last week when he finished second by a neck. From there, I try for a Dreamer. He's the third horse I try. Makes his second start off of a layoff. He hadn't raced since October and early November. Came back with a decent mile against Obrigado and Warrior One in that same race as Muscle Fashion. So maybe he improved second start out. Again, Top Flight Angel, we talked about him. And last of all, I throw on the Big Muscle, a horse that should have beat Rubber Duck last week if Rubber Duck did not get some easy fractions up front and end up winning by a nose. The difference now, the Big Muscle has an outside post that might, if anything, just benefit his price because he's a capable horse at this class level by what his form shows. It's just going to be a matter of where he gets off the gate from that spot. So I am 1, 3, 6, 8, 10 in leg 2. Leg 3, so now it's a 7,500 filly and mare pacing event for a person 13.5 with a field of 9. For you, Mike, you're too deep.
Too deep. I feel like these are the two here. And starting with the 2, JB Shooting Star, who if you watched that race last time against Abigail Dawn, and that horse raced really well against, I feel like, better horses than these. And now draws inside. The horse was bet in the race, was 5-1 in a race that really, was wide open. So definitely got action, has backlines to go back to. I sort of put that horse in my horses to watch list after that race. And I think draws, a perfect spot here in a field that, she should play a lot better. And then the 4 Sudden Passing, another dropper, racing that same race, gets Yannick now, and I would imagine it's going to go to the front here for Burke. So I like those 2 to dominate the race, 2-4.
Oh, I guess that must mean it's my turn. And for my turn, I'm only going to talk about horses that are going to win. I agree with you on JB's Shooting Star. She's been putting in some good miles. She's just got to learn not to hang at the end of the miles. That's the toughest thing for her. But it also doesn't help that she's gaining ground into some of the faster parts of the race. When they're sprinting around that final turn, she's charging up after them. And you can't be charging when everyone else is charging because then you're going to overcharge. What happens when you overcharge? You run out of juice. Battery analogy didn't really work there as great as I was hoping it would. But ultimately, the point still stands that JB's Shooting Star has to try and work out, just time her move better. She had great moves towards the end of January when she was racing up against Nauers at 10,000. And then she's kind of she's been wavering at this level in her most recent try. So maybe things work out for her from this inside spot. If not, Rockin' Praline appears to be on the rebound in her 5th start of the year. She won easily in a class where she was supposed to. That's at least a confidence booster in my book. So now that she moves up in class, this mare that had previously been racing up against much tougher competition should have a bit more than she's shown against similar in recent starts. She just is probably tighter this time around, gets a good draw, has no reason to not go to the lead and try and control the race. And when she controls the race, she usually ends up winning the race. That last part in particular, a major reason why I feel Rockin' Praline's a major contender and why I am only 1-2 in leg 3. Leg 4, the final leg of the pick 4, race number 9, and ours a $15,000 trotting event for a purse of $20,000. We got a field of 10 going postward. Mike, you cap it off with 3.
3 deep. The one Kanzinski Hanover was racing hours of 22.5, and last 2 starts and is racing well. Horses like Dason, Elysium Lindy, Miss La Rose, those are better than these. Draws well. This horse is a closer, and should get a little bit of a setup here. So I think that that one's a use. And it probably could get lost on the board here also. So another reason to use. The 5, the Final Claim, looks the favorite. 2 straight, coming off the layoff in that numbers of 6. And those are tough races. Went 53-1, off the bench, and then 54-4 last time at 1-2. This is a tougher race, obviously, but the horse is going far too well to ignore. And then I'm going to use the 8, Reseda. this horse likes it here. Won off the bench on February 7th, then got stuck, in a very, very fast race with, outside the entire way. No chance there. And then last time ended up first up and tiring a little, but still kicked 27-3. Missed a week, but McCarthy sticks, and, another one that could be an upsetter, 158.
Meantime, contest update. Sand Between Your Toes won up at Mohawk in a race where both Tony and I had Windsong Magnifique. Of course,
Who should have won?
the red board story of the night. Sand Between Your Toes was my original pick until I thought, she hasn't been racing well. But
She was 7-1, which is kind of crazy off a win.
yeah, that's the other thing was I was expecting a Richard Moreau horse to take a bit more play than 7-1, considering in the race that she came back on and was totally flattened, she was 7-2. They had a lot more faith in her than they did this week.
There was a lot of tough ones in there. But, she's only made like $1.5 million or something.
That's all. In, like the grand scheme of things. That's all. I wouldn't want $1.5 million. If I had $1.5 million, that would mean that I could give everybody in the country $500, and then I would still have $50,000.
How about that, by the way? Like, what? Seriously? Like, how does somebody make that mistake?
You're asking someone who has made that mistake before how you could possibly make that mistake. Look, when be Brian Williams for a second, all right? It's 11 p.m. You're like 55 years old, and you're still recovering from a concussion that was a result of an RPG hitting your helicopter. Your memory sometimes comes and goes. Would it not? Because when the brain, you're a scientist, you're a doctor, when the brain hits the walls of the skull, every time the brain hits the skull, you lose 5 memories. There's studies about this. Harvard's done it. Yale's done it. MIT has done it. All of these schools have studies that show that every time you hit your head, you lose memories. It depends on how hard, too. You get like a real severe blow to the head, that's like 50 memories. You get like a little kick, you just might forget what you did yesterday. But a punch, you might forget your 12th birthday. You might forget your bar mitzvah or your bat mitzvah, depending on which one you were. Yeah, it's a serious matter that I feel as a now known harness racing celebrity that I need to champion, because I have no cause that I'm championing currently to try and raise money for, and I really should. I should champion a cause, and
Yeah, you should.
and
Maybe like
this will be it. I mean that would produce actual results. I'm looking in particular to be like one of those celebrities that acts like they care about something that really doesn't matter.
Bloomberg should have just given everybody $1.50 and went away instead of,
I feel that what Michael Bloomberg should have done is that he should have gotten one of those little tubs of Big Gay ice cream, right? You saw this? You saw those? He should have bought everyone in the country some Big Gay ice cream. If it's really the best, like he said it is, then he would buy everyone a little tub of it, so we could prove whether or not it is, in fact, the best.
Okay, then.
Do you want to hear my numbers now? You want to hear the rest of my numbers?
Yeah.
I'm 145 in the last leg here at the Meadowlands. I agree on Kenzie Sky Hanover. She's pretty obvious on the class drop. I use very, very fast because he's very, very capable of winning. He's also raced well at this class in recent starts. Just throw out that last race. That's an anomaly. It doesn't.
I just don't like the driver change.
The driver change means nothing to me because Drew Monty won a race tonight. He won a race. He won a race. And final claim, moving out of the numbers of 6 for Gingran Burke, tends to go to the front, and the front, if it holds, usually performs really well. So my ticket then for 50 cents goes as follows. I am 3-7 with 1-3-6-8-10 with 1-2 with 1-4-5 for a total cost of $30. Mr. Prebosi.
2-3-7-8 with 1-3-6-7-8 with 2-4 with 1-5-8. It's $60, and I did put it in.
Meantime, I am finally on the board at the Meadowlands.
Excellent.
In race 5, I had ER Skywalker, who finished third for a whopping $4 show return.
Okay.
But some of my better contenders are coming later on.
So where are we at in the contest now? I mean, you guys, it's got to be pretty close.
Considering that he's had only 2 favorites, yeah, I don't have full numbers on me because I'm trying to make sure that the show doesn't get taken down by the Russians. But
So
if I did,
it was race 4. He had the Caviar Alley.
he had Caviar Alley.
He got 770 there.
And
what
then
about race 5?
Race 5, he had the 2 who did not hit the board.
Okay, so then we have Mohawk, and you guys had the same horse in the one race.
Yeah, we had Windsong Magnifique, and then he had Sugar Dance in the race before.
Who was second and paid $280 and $250, so got $530 there.
Yeah.
So he has $13 to your 4.
Well, don't forget Windsong Magnifique. Oh, you're talking about you didn't even consider. So that means he's had more horses hit the board, and he's only beating me by $9.
He has $21.90, and you have $13.90.
I'll
No, $12.90.
see. This is not me. This is not me trying to be a bit of a flamethrower. It's not me trying to be a bit of a mudslinger. But if you've had more horses hit the board than me, and you're only beating me by $9.
That's all right. Like I said.
No, I think it's pathetic. I think.
No, all that matters is that, listen, if he beats you by 10 cents, he still won.
But it's a matter of, did he just beat me or did he destroy me? I don't get destroyed.
I don't think that matters.
I think it does matter. From first.
I realize you think it matters.
Well, it's because at the end of the day, we're just doing a little fictional contest for some promotional giveaways. I'm trying to give it a bit more drama,
No, it's fun. I think it's been fun so far,
I'm not saying it hasn't been fun, but I also want people, when they lose to us, to feel emasculated. I want them to feel ashamed that they even thought that they could try and beat us.
It's just win, baby. It doesn't really matter what the score is. Although last week Rod did definitely put one on that guy.
Yeah, and really that's supposed to be the lesson here, is that we have the help of someone putting their money where our mouth is, and we have to prove that everyone else sucks, and that's really the end goal of this contest.
Wow. Okay, I mean so they're post parading here.
They're post parading for race 6.
Somehow the 5's 8-5, which I didn't use. I don't think you used either off the bench. So
that's Henderson Sealster.
Yeah.
Oh, that horse. There was a time where that horse was 0 for like 20, and then just suddenly started to win races again.
This isn't my kind. I mean, I realize that's a nice qualifier, but I don't know.
Henderson Sealster tends to race really well at this class level, but he also tends to break, and when he doesn't break, you just gotta hope that he knows where the wire is. You can't really take a short price on him. That's the terrible thing, is that he's usually always a short price.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just not too interested, and he can beat me, and I will lose.
I'm genuinely shocked that Max
But the rest
Volo,
of the horses are being very closely bet.
I'm genuinely shocked Max Volo is only 4-1. There was part of me that wanted to take Renier over Max Volo in the contest simply because I thought people would see Gingras hops on this horse and just make him the favorite. But 4-1 is an incredible overlay on this horse.
I think 6-1 is a good price on the 7 also. Therapeutic is a nice horse.
Therapeutic is a nice horse. I just know Max Volo over this track better than I do Therapeutic. Mm-hmm. And Max Volo typically has performed better at these lower classes and has improved over the last couple of months here at the Meadowlands, or the last year at the Meadowlands, I should say. Especially when they just put him on the front as opposed to just making him try and grind from first over or second over.
The 4's taking action too, way more action than I anticipated here.
It's Mystical Motor. He's currently 9-2. As we also should. I have the little graphic, so our pick 4s are kind of scrolling there. But for those who want to know, we're coming up on race 6. In this race in the Meadowlands, like I said, I have Max Volo the 3, I being Matt Raymond. If people are not familiar, Matt Raymond is in fact my birth name. And then Tony Elliott, who you might look at this feed and go, wait, I'm Tony Elliott because the number is right down there, and then you mistake Mike for Matt Raymond. Just trust me on this. Follow me on this here, please. I've I'm trying to get my degree. I'm deeply in debt. Just let me have this one, okay? I'm not Tony Elliott, but Tony Elliott, if he were here, is on the 5, Henderson Sealster, who is the favorite, and probably the reason why I'm going to take the lead in this next race.
And you have Max Volo.
I have Max Volo at 9-2, which is an incredible price on a horse that really should be the favorite.
I'll take for the, it's not a contest or anything, but I like Therapeutic at 5-1 currently.
And we're gonna bring back here up on the screen our pick 4 tickets. They'll swipe by once more since they're getting ready to go to the gate. A reminder: I am 3-7 with 1, 3, 6, 8, 10 with 1, 2 with 1, 4, 5. A $30 investment. Mike is 2, 3, 7, 8 with 1, 3, 6, 7, 8 with 2, 4 with 1, 5, 8. Double my investment, $60. As they're...
Man, we're getting ready to go to the gate, but the pick 4 pool is only 42,000, so they figure they better drag at least another 2 minutes.
Yeah, they almost made the race go off slightly on time. That would have been a ha ha moment. Top five ha ha harness racing moments. It should have hit 50,000 by now.
Another thing to talk about is now, like, we have Hawthorne up on the website now.
Oh, that's right. We have someone doing Hawthorne.
Yeah. So we have Hawthorne, Meadowlands, Woodbine, soon to have Running Aces back in a couple weeks.
But first, my Kofifi. Up next, race 6 from the Meadowlands first leg of the $50,000 guaranteed pick 4, 8-5 on Henderson Sealster. As the field is in line, in motion at the start, off and trotting. Mystical Motor on a gallop while Max Volo neighboring him gets to the cones. Center of the track, Henderson Sealster, the favorite. Unhurried, but moving up to challenge the leader into the first turn as Bizet trots into third with Renier fourth, moving to the opening quarter. Gap 2.5, then fifth. Auteur Hanover racing sixth. Therapeutic. Smoky Mirrors then seventh, and is a long ways back to the early breaker Mystical Motor trailing in eighth. To the opening quarter, Henderson Sealster leads by a length and a half in 28-2. Max Volo sits a loose pocket as Bizet then trots third, gapped about 3.5 lengths off the leader. Renier then sits fourth. Auteur Hanover remains fifth. Therapeutic still sixth with Smoky Mirrors, the penultimate, and Mystical Motors catching the field past 3/8 and towards the half. An outer flow not developing after Henderson Sealster is the even money choice. Cruises to the half-mile marker, a length and a half better than Max Volo, now drafting on Miller's helmet through a 57-2 half. 29 seconds that second quarter. Renier makes the first move from fourth. First up into third, now to the far turn, trotting 2 lengths off the leader, locks Bizet and shuffles him into fourth as Auteur Hanover catches cover, now gaps cover from fifth. Smoky Mirrors then locked inside that one sixth. Therapeutic seventh and on cover to the outside. Back then to Mystical Motor remaining the trailer to 3/4. Henderson Sealster strolling on the lead, a length better than Rentier to the outside. Max Volo waiting for room, and Bizet beginning to tip off the cones. 125-4 for 3/4. 28-2 into the stretch. Henderson Sealster not yet shown the whip. Max Volo encouraged for trot in behind him. Bizet angles outside as Renier loses ground with Smoky Mirrors into fourth. Deep stretch though. Henderson Sealster in cruise control to the finish. At even money, Henderson Sealster wins by a length and 3/4. Max Volo second. Bizet third with Smoky Mirrors fourth and 154. Here's the hope. The hope is that Max Volo pays more across the board than Henderson Sealster. That's the hope.
Yeah,
I doubt it,
I don't know.
but it
You could
happens.
see the way the race was bet that the 5 was going to be good, and then, as soon as he got away from there, that was it.
Yeah, I also
It'd be nice if something would go after him, but, why do that? Just let him stroll across the racetrack.
admittedly, should have looked to see what the weather was supposed to be at the Meadowlands, because I did not think it was going to be sloppy until I turned on the feed tonight.
That didn't matter.
It'd been kind of closer heavy the last couple of weeks, so I figured the rain might have helped the speed a bit.
This horse is too hard to figure for me. Like, if you're taking this horse at even money, that's fine. That's not the way I'm ever gonna play.
And you shouldn't.
No.
Let's meantime take a look then at the Mohawk pick 4, because race 6 is coming up. Race 6 also a part of our contest, where who do I have in this race? Hey, graphic computer, tell me who I have and who Tony has. Oh, Tony has the 2, Mystical, is that Mystical Maddie? Mystic Sealster. And then I have High Moon Sunshine.
He's pretty chalk heavy.
He's incredibly chalk heavy. And really, that goes to show the only way people can beat me is if they take the most obvious horses. But then I destroy.
Who do you have? Who do you have here?
I have High Moon Sunshine.
Oh, yuck.
Why yuck? Horse Adds Lasix has been racing decently her last couple of starts. What's wrong with her?
I don't know. I had her pick 3rd.
She raced really well 3 starts back. Last out showed a bit of late pace. Now the Adds Lasix. I find that appealing.
Okay.
I'm a Lasix guy. What do you want from me?
You're getting a price. I mean, you're getting 5-1. I like the 6.
Who's 5-2, and
7-2.
Oh, you see, I did not like this race at all, and I had to pick a horse.
I don't mind the 1 either, though. So.
I had a hard time because Mystic Sealster appears to be the best horse in the race, but with the kind of miles that she puts in, like, it doesn't make me feel confident in any of the other horses. Since Mystic Sealster, who has lackluster efforts, is the best horse in the race. So I tried to take something. I tried to find something a bit more extraneous.
Okay.
I tried to find something a bit more, not lackluster, but a bit more exotic.
It went 420, 280, 260. You got 460, 280. So,
that sounds close.
You lost by 220 in the race, so he's up by 220 more dollars now.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Wow!
Yeah.
220.
So add 220 to his total.
That was a breathing exercise on my part.
No, he's got you by $11 and such.
Oh wow, he's only ahead by a 9-2 shot. That's definitely a secure lead.
Well, if you got a 5-1 shot here, so maybe you can turn the tables.
That's my point, and then I can get the little paddle out and I can start spanking him.
Well, let's see, because they're getting ready to go to Gator Mohawk.
Oh, they're getting ready to go. So should we talk about the pick 4, or should we watch this race?
Your call.
All right.
We can talk pick 4.
Yeah, let's talk pick 4. We'll go back to the results of race 6 when we have them. Pick 4 at Mohawk starts in race 7. That's why we were discussing whether or not we should start this pick 4, because it is it's not foreboding. It is incoming. 20-cent minimum. Typically draws how much people bet in? Like 40,000.
Usually 40, 50,000 in the late.
Yeah. And that's USD. We're talking.
Well, now they added a late pick 5 there, starting in race 6, and that's cut a little bit of the money out. But the takeouts on the pick 5 are smaller than the pick 4s now too. So the pick 5s are way better bets. There's no question about it. But the pick 4 still draws some good action.
You shouldn't talk.
Like there's 40,000 in the late pick 5 right now, starting in race 6.
Don't talk up the pick 5. We're about to talk about the pick 4.
I'm just talking about the racetrack.
But no one's gonna want to bet the pick 4. Then they'll be like, why didn't I bet the pick 5?
Yeah, no better. Because the pick 4's over, the pick 5's over now because they're just springing it here.
I get phone calls weekly from people saying, why you tell me to do this when I should have done that? And I have to be the guy that goes, I'm just a speculator. I'm just a speculator. I see what you see, and I have to put my hand up like this, and they still point a gun at me. That inadvertently turned into kind of a hip hop.
Yeah.
If you had a little beat in the back, it would have worked out really well.
The 4 kind of missed the gate. I just wanted to let you know.
Don't tell me that, and tell me who you like in the first leg of the Mohawk pick 4, race 7. It's a non-winners of what? $6,000, $3,000 trot, $12,000 purse. Go.
Okay, I was 4 deep in here. My top pick's the 4 head turning Jag, who woke up last time. Source has a lot of back class at Mohawk and has been struggling but added Lasix 3 starts back and just sort of can't get out of his own way. But last time did in the snow stay flat and kicked in 30-1, which that night was very good to be second. Draws inside. Henry sticks. I think big chance for that one. I'm going to use the 5, Euclid, who gets back to the big track and was racing well here last year. Gets a lot more shares than wins, but this horse is going to get you're going to get a price on this horse. Fillion's on now. That was a tough trip last time at Flamborough. I like to switch back. The 6, Old Jack Magic, crushed a race at Flamborough on February 15th, then was scratched here last week. And, this horse won 8 times last year, likes this racetrack. And if you're going off that last Flamborough line, this horse definitely plays at this level because this is bottoms here. Then the 7, Mr. Magic, likely the favorite in the race. And, is another one that's very hit and miss, can break at times. And, this horse could win this race by 5 lengths or run at the gate. So your call, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Okay, so right now, Mystic Sealster is coming down the center. Can my horse hit the board? Can she hit the board? She's not. She got an awful drive. She went so wide and had some pace.
And 2 a second, right? So
yeah. Well, look,
more money for your. You're starting to dig a hole now.
But here's the thing.
You only got 4 races left.
But he's still only getting like these little increments, these little.
But you're not getting
these little peasant pennies. All right. I play for aristocrat dollars. I couldn't think of the opposite of pestilent pauper pennies. I forgot what I said.
I did say I like the 6 who won the race. So you should have looked at NAHUpicks.com, then you'd be much better off.
Mike, I'm gonna be honest with you. If I would have carded that race, I would have just canceled the whole night. I would have been so ashamed that I gathered those 7 horses. That's nothing against the people at Mohawk. It was just that hard. It was a tough race to handicap.
It was a tough race. I agree.
And it was a tough race to handicap because you couldn't tell which horses were horses. Anyway, what horses do I like in race 7? That's a great question. I'm glad you asked it. I start with the 3, Rama's Lost Son, who I like on the class drop, given that, the reason why I like this horse is going to make more sense as I talk about the rest of this field. So I'll come back to Rama's Last Son. Next I go to Head Turning Jag, who finished second in a race where he really should have won until some horse off a perfect trip kind of slid past him late, forced him to finish second by a half length. Otherwise, he had a perfect trip. He was supposed to win that race. You look back to the last time he was in Nars at 3,000 and he stayed flat. He was supposed to win the race going wire to wire, and he didn't. So his problem is that in that last quarter of a mile, he tends to not really finish as strongly as he should, but there's a slim chance that he might be able to. But if he isn't, who else we got? We got Mr. Magic. Mr. Magic tends to show speed off the gate, but he also tends to get bet a lot. So that might not be good for us in the value department, but he's usually putting in some decent miles going first over, and sometimes when he goes first over, he quits. So which one are we going to get? That's the fun of gambling, I guess. And lastly, the horse that I like the best in this race, AJ Destiny, who makes his second start off the claim, tossed that last race completely because now he drops back to the level where he'd been racing best, and he typically also fires off the gate. So if he's sitting close towards the front in a kind of stalking spot there, that should be to his benefit. But ultimately, if you did not catch on to why I like Rama's Last Son, it's the fact that he's dropping in class, tends to show some late trot, gets a better post, and also nobody in this race can finish a quarter of a mile. So there's my slim hope that maybe Rama's Lost Son is just in the right place at the right time, because that's where Stormont Charlotte was last week, and she won. So why can't Rama's Lost Son? I'm using big brain power for this one to go 3, 4, 7, 8 in Leg 1. Leg 2, race 8. Now there's a $3,000 pacing event for fillies and mares, $12,000 purse, 8 horses going postward. Mike, you're again 4 deep.
4 deep in this one. Get my program back up, sorry. My bad.
Oh, please, take your time.
Okay, I like Don't Bruce Carey in the race. And you get Wah back here. This horse was flying down the middle last time on a night that that was difficult to do, and really looked live for the first time in a while. this is Bottoms. She, I know, has only won for her last 42 races, but has a 51-4 mark at the racetrack, has 16 lifetime wins, and is very capable. I think the driver change will definitely help her. The 4 I did like, but the 4 is scratched, so we can't use that one. The 5 pretty hot, drops some numbers to 6,000, and she tends to win when she drops. So you're still going to get a little bit of a price there because you got Jason Ryan, but she is definitely capable. Those races against like Hello Love and Blackjack Pat, Just Her Luck, those are much better races. Drops to the bottom now and definitely has a chance. The 6K Shadow has had really tough trips the last couple races. Was very live 3 back when flying up the rail to just miss. Then was buried last 2 back. Last time ran into Hello Love, no chance. Drops back. McClure's back again, definite chance. And then the 8, Kiwi Focus, 3rd start. Goddard's Barn has been going very well. I'd imagine that this horse is going to be flying off the gate if she's any good and has plenty of back class to fit at the race. 1, 5, 6, 8.
Yeah, I saw you liked Kiwi Focus and decided to give her a second look because on first glance, I didn't have her at all in the race. But looking at that race, 2 starts back and her first start since racing in, July? And she blasted off the wings from post 9. She sat second through a fast first half just to finish 10th. Made me think, well, now she's dropping to this bottom level. She probably has a lot more in her tank than her last couple of starts have shown. So perhaps, while she doesn't have the best post, I agree with you, she might just show that kind of speed to get involved early and then just have enough late against the rest of these that are just trying to get their wings back to potentially pull off a bit of a little bit of an upset, little teensy weensy upset. Outside of Kiwi Focus, Maddie's Credit I throw on, who gets post switch. She'd been racing all right against this group in the past. She also just tends to sit really far off the speed, like 16 lengths off the front and 12 lengths off the front, except last time she was only 2 lengths off the front. And despite that, still finished 3rd off a pylon trip, so it's a matter of where she gets off the gate. Otherwise, in the races where she sat really far off the speed, she came home like 27 and 28 and change. So she has a bit of a late kick, depending on where exactly she's positioned. It's a matter of whether she gets positioned correctly. If not, maybe Outlaw Fireballs is sitting in the right place at the right time. She almost struck last time against in one of those classes where it's like you couldn't have raced for a purse of $10,000 unless on Tuesdays you decide to go shopping. Like one of those weird conditions. It's such a weird condition that the program just has it listed as a condition race. Outlaw Fireball was in it. She sat a pylon trip and she finished second by only a neck, coming in with 27 and 4. She's just got to sit close to the speed again like she did there, and then maybe she can pull off a little bit of a stunner also here if Kiwi Focus does not. So 278 for me, trying to get a horse to sit somewhat near the speed in that leg. Leg 3 is race number 9? Race number 9. Claiming handicap event for tags between 15 to 18,000. Field of 7 going posted here. And Mike, much like the claiming handicap that just went off at Mohawk, I really do not like this race.
I was just too deep in here. And I'm going to use the 5 Golden to Badlands. It was claimed last time. Now it goes to Moreau Wog. It's first time Lasix. And you can remember this was Rod's horse that he claimed at London for 8,500 and then did pretty well with. Basically climbed the ladder here at Mohawk. Does like the big track, and getting that Lasix should get an up close trip with Watt and the bike. Definite big chance. And then the 7 Legal Better, who crushed these horses last time, should be up close to the front, and that seems to be playing well. Won 7 times last year. Has won 2 out of the last 3. 5-7.
Who do I use again? Oh, it's right there. It's right on the bottom of the screen. 2-3-5. So the 2 being, that's right, Casimir Overdrive, the horse that's been claimed in every start he's ever raced. Moving up in class, admittedly not necessarily a bit of a great thing, but in those races against against 10,000 claimers, 12,000 claimers, the level essentially below this claiming handicap, he's been getting checks. Won 3 times, finished second once, finished 3rd twice. Tends to sit close to the front. Seems like the kind of horse that so long as he does that against this group, why can't he race for a bigger price tag? I don't see why he can't. especially since I also use Mission 3, a horse that can't find the finish line and is 0 for
Why are you
25.
using that horse?
Because deep down in my heart, I feel like he has a chance, given that he's able to come in like 27 and change.
He doesn't.
Off of, but you don't know that exactly. You
Maybe
don't.
if the other 6 hook wheels, I don't know. I mean, I guess that could happen.
And Mike, you and I have seen a lot on this planet. We've been here for an incredibly long time.
I've been here a lot longer than you have.
But you agree with me that of all the things that could possibly happen, this horse could win a race. It's not like this horse is 0 for 30 and is finishing up the track.
Kill Devil won last week and paid $120. So yes, anything can happen.
This horse is consistently finishing close and has excuses in terms of maybe went first over, someone else outsprinted her, or outsprinted him, or he was just locked in too long, didn't get going till late. These things happen, and if those things don't happen this time around, maybe Mission 3 finally gets number 1. I don't know why I'm trying to go with these old like sports twists of language. Maybe I'm not auditioning for anything. If I was, I'd take Legal Better, but I'm trying to beat this horse. I don't like Legal Better from this spot. He seems like he's gonna take a ton of money. Every time Travis Cullen's driven him, he's lost. So I don't know. Now Travis Cullen's driving me again. What that means, I don't know. It just doesn't look good. So instead, I throw on Golden the Badlands, who you also take off the claim. And this horse has been getting claimed a lot. Adds Lasix, pretty obvious for those reasons. So I'm 2-3-5 in leg 3. Leg 4, then, it's the final leg. Race number 10. A numbers of 6,900 for pacing fillies and mares. Field of 10 going postward. You wrap it up with 4.
4, it's a tough race. The one just her luck drops from numbers at 12-5. Racing against Sporty Tory. Race the same between your toes. 2 back. Kloof Street 3 back. None of those hypes in here. Moves to the inside post. It's probably going to be close to even money in the race. The problem is that she just, I don't know, like she really hasn't, been in form the past couple weeks. So we'll see. I mean, I'd imagine it's going to be the favorite. The 3, Freya Sealster comes back off the layoff. 4, Stacy. And he tends to excel off layoffs. This horse could flash a lot of speed in this race, and that, a little pace advantage might not be a bad thing against a bunch of closers. So that's the reason I use that one. The 4, Wisty's Paradise, is racing well at the level. Closed to just miss 2 back, and then last time ran into Cracklin' Rosie, who was never losing that race. 0 for 9, but did win 4 times last year and does have back class, and you get McNair back, so I don't mind that one. And then the 10, Miss Maddie, did upset on January 31st and was paid close to $100. Since then has been in tough spots. Cracklin' Rosie, Belfast, Better Be Donna, all, and it's sort of against the racetrack. Another one that's going to be a massive price, but could have a chance. 1, 3, 4, 10.
Just her luck is pretty obvious. She's one I use on the class drop. Outside of that, I also agree on Wisty's Paradise, who has been racing well as of late. Just probably needs to not sit 10 lengths off the lead at the top of the stretch. That'd probably help her a little bit. Then I throw on Charmbo Brie, a horse that you don't throw on. She also tends to kick to the finish well. She makes her 3rd start after missing a week early in February. She seems to be getting over the little braking issue she had then, and so long as she continues to stay flat, she should be able to finish well. So I am 1-4-6 to finish my ticket, which goes as follows. For 20 cents, I am 3-4-7-8 with 2-7-8 with 2-3-5 with 1-4-6. 21.60 for 20 cents. Mike, your ticket.
4, 5, 6, 7 with 1, 5, 6, 8. It's 5, 7 with 1, 3, 4, 10. It's 25.60, and the ticket's actually right in the middle of the Woodbine feed currently.
And do note that on our graphic, in race 8, the 4 Tobin's Terror is scratched, so Mike does have 1, 5, 6, 8 instead of 1, 4, 5, 8 as it's listed in the graphic. It was a late scratch.
To go to the gate at the Meadowlands. You have the 1.
I have
10-1.
Yes.
Who does our friend have?
Let's take a look. So if we remove the wondrous Mohawk graphic, and this is what, race 8 at Meadowlands? Race 7.
7.
Race 7. All right. Tony has the 8.
Okay. That's a good pick. It's a favorite.
I have the 1.
Okay. Well, let's see what happens here. I'm out of the pick 4 because I'm too stubborn to use even money shots, but that's just the way it goes.
Well, I'm also out because Henderson Sealster was not necessarily a great pick, even though the horse won.
I did honestly turn around and bet my pick 3 here starting in this race, so I do still like the sequence. I just didn't like the 5 there, so that's all right.
All right, they're lining up here 8-5 on the 8 Top Flight Angel. Second choice at 3-1. The 3 Carrick. The 2 Rubber Duck. The third choice at 4-1. Field of 10. Conditioned trotters. In line, in behind, in motion, and approaching the start. Often trotting Top Flight Angel timed the gate and puts a neck out in front as the big muscle on the far outside also shows speed. Center comes icing onto Cupcake with Rubber Duck to the inside, also trying to procure a front spot, but beating them all at the cones. Muscle faster the first turn, parks him 4 wide to the opening quarter. Rubber Duck, though, now trying to edge to the lead. Muscle Fashion yields for the pocket. Icing onto Cupcake in between horses is Top Flight Angel. The favorite ranges 3 wide up into second, past the first quarter in 28 seconds to range up and now take the lead. Top Flight Angel into the back side, a half length, now a length, clearing to the front over Rubber Duck with Muscle Fashion stalking them from third. Fourth sits Icing onto Cupcake moving towards the half. Carrick races fifth. Fashion Creditors then sixth, ahead of the Big Muscles back in seventh. For a Dreamer races eighth with back ninth. Starlight Oz, Trixie Dust, nowhere to be spotted here in this field through a 56 1/2. 28 1 that second quarter. First up comes Carrick from fifth to the far turn, now up into fourth, soon to be third, and drawing closer to Top Flight Angel coming towards 3/4. Rubber Duck, meanwhile, locked in the pocket as Fashion Creditors carried into contention second over, now racing fifth, 2.5 lengths off the lead. Sixth then, shuffled back, now seventh, Icing onto Cupcake. The Big Muscle races third over. Back then to For a Dreamer with Starlight Oz, still looking for Trixie Dust to 3/4 in 125. Top Flight Angel, unchallenged so far until Rubber Duck tips off the helmet with Muscle Fashion to the inside, having room to trot coming into the eighth pole. Top Flight Angel, clean to command. Muscle Fashion, the short route at the inside, drawing closer within a length of the lead as Top Flight Angel urged on here, but Muscle Fashion sliding past to the inside for Barry, and Muscle Fashion coasts away to a length and a quarter win. Top Flight Angel second, Rubber Duck third, 153 1. Wait, hold on. Is Tony watching? Tony, all right. Randy, get me to camera 3. Get camera 3 on me. Randy, why are you taking so long to get camera 3 on me? Thank you. Hey, Tony, eat my shorts. That's all I wanted to do.
See, I knew this was.
That's all I wanted to do. I just want to tell him to eat my shorts. He takes. You see, this is what happens. Come back to only me, Randy. Thank you. This is what happens, Tony, when you open up the program and you just start picking winners. At some point, you end up picking a loser, and then you go home crying, and you go, well, I had more winners than you. But Tony, I'm like China. I'm playing a long game. All right, I'm gonna rule the world. You'll reign on top temporarily, but I have the manufacturing. I have the people. I have the army. I will destroy the planet for my own benefit. Maybe not that last part, but I, in the end, always win.
With 3 races to go, that's a huge separator there. I mean, you got 10 to 1 here. That's huge.
I mean, I would
be ahead after this race.
I would have preferred if Top Flight Angel didn't finish second, but I mean, $22.
That 22 plus you get the place and show. I mean, he's probably going to pay 10 and probably 4 or 5 to show.
Yeah, and then Top Flight Angel is going to pay $3, $2.20.
Yeah, that was one of those races there that the one got a perfect drive, just absolutely beautiful. But there's not a lot outside flow tonight. Nobody's really going. The inside path's definitely the best place to be here, from what I can see so far.
That definitely does seem to be the case so far.
So
As muscle fashion, I should have bet this. I should have bet him. I should have bet him.
I did, like I said, I punched the pick 3 using my pick 4 tickets, which again, off to a good start here, 10-1. But I really did like this sequence tonight. I'm just an idiot for not using the 5 in the first race.
I need to see if Tony's tweeted to me as of late. Okay, I'm gonna remove Andy McCarthy and the Meadowlands from my response because they don't really need to be involved. I just want to reply to him 2 simple words.
Here we go.
Suck it.
He needed a place and $5 to show, and he got $6 for his tickets. So you had almost $24 more there. So you definitely are in front now.
And as I just did on Twitter, I told Tony to suck it.
Okay. It's not over.
It's not over. It's not over.
It's over. It's not over. Just because you're ahead, when he was ahead, you're like, well, whatever. But now you're ahead and you're acting like that it's over. It's not over.
Well, Mike, it's just because we all know I'm the champion, and the champion has taken the lead.
Last time you played.
That's big. I let Ken win. Why does everyone keep acting like I lost on accident?
You got 3 to go. You got 2 from Mohawk and 1 from Meadowlands left. And I'm sure you picked some long shots here.
Well, yeah, I'm not just going to take chalk.
Who do you have at the 7th?
At Mohawk?
AJ Destiny.
Yeah.
And who does he have? Probably head turning Jag.
Was this race 7 at Mohawk?
Mm-hmm.
Who's the 1?
Oh, that's Stormont Charlotte. Okay, well then you guys are real similar in odds right now. The 1's 7-1 and the 8's 6-1.
Well, the difference is that the 8's probably going to win.
I think the 4 wins. I don't really like the 8 in the race, to be honest. I don't like either one of those 2.
I mean, if handicapping was correct, none of these horses should win the race. Look at those last couple lines.
It's a bottom level. I mean, It's bottom trotters, I've been on the 2 a couple weeks in a row, so that horse will probably run through the screen.
Oh, Charlie is a joker.
Yeah.
I don't know how you take Stormont Charlotte off that perfect trip last week.
And that was the night that Jameson was winning with everything. So I understood this horse a couple weeks ago, but wasn't really getting decent trips, and then all of a sudden popped with Jameson. But I don't know. Here's Mr. Magic breaking in the post parade, so that doesn't bode well.
Yeah, does he not usually do that?
He doesn't. Are we going to Rosecroft?
We can. Actually, we probably shouldn't because they're probably going to go to the gate soon. Yeah, 40 seconds.
Okay, when that's done, we'll do that. We'll do Rosecroft, and then we'll have a couple races, and we'll be done.
Yeah, and then everyone will go home. I am already home. I'll go upstairs. I'll turn on my oven, and it's going to be enchilada time.
You were down by about like $13. Now you're up about $10 in that contest. Those aren't exact figures, but that's rough. You're up about $10 with 3 to go.
It doesn't. I just know by the end of the night I'm gonna win. That's all that matters. That's all that matters.
It does.
So then maybe everyone will stop thinking, oh, I'm gonna go easy mode. I'm gonna pick Ray.
Well, right now, Rod 1-0, Mike 1-0, Ray 0-1. Just the first 3 weeks. And now Ray could be 1-1 though, so that would be 3 wins for us, 1 for the competitors. So I'm rooting for you.
And again, it's just this entire contest. Well, I mean, sure, while you guys do get a little bit of a prize, it serves in the long run to show why we're better than you.
And all sponsored by Bow River Jewelry, who's a fantastic sponsor, and Art's a great guy too.
Oh, without a doubt. He's helping us in this little ego exercise with our fans. As this race at Mohawk is in behind, I accidentally opened up my mail.
You got mail.
Field of 10. In line, in behind, in motion, and now off and trotting with Rama's Last Son towards the inside, showing some speed. Pylon position, Stormont Charlotte emerges on top, but outside, AJ Destiny dashes by them all and now clears control towards the first turn, getting away fourth. Head-turning Jag now fifth as Mr. Magic's carried wide by Drury up into fourth towards the opening quarter with about 3.5 lengths to make up on AJ Destiny, the leader. AJ Destiny passes the first quarter 27-3, opens 3.5 lengths on Stormont Charlotte second. Mr. Magic outside third, now moving up towards the tempo setter. Stormont Charlotte also seals the gap, moving towards the half. Rama's Last Son then races fourth, 4.5 lengths off the lead. Back fifth, head-turning Jag as Old Jack Magic sits wide from sixth. Inside Park Hill Nonstop races seventh. Euclid is then back eighth. Ninth comes Charlie as a Joker, and towards the back of the pack, Honor Above All. Mr. Magic cleared command through a 56 2/2, 28-4 in that second quarter. AJ Destiny now sits the pocket to the far turn, with Stormont Charlotte, the next closest competitor from third. Rama's Last Son trying to recoup ground from fourth with about 5 lengths to make up on the leader to 3/4. Then head-turning Jag, locked in by Old Jack Magic, not gaining any ground, but sitting 7 lengths off the front to the top of the stretch, where Mr. Magic holds the advantage. AJ Destiny yet to be uncorked by McNairn, 126-1. Stormont Charlotte remains third, as now AJ Destiny angles outside for the drive. Mr. Magic leads by a length. Stormont Charlotte angles to the wider part of the track. AJ Destiny drawing closer, now alongside, trying to get by Mr. Magic. AJ Destiny to the lead. Mr. Magic second. Stormont Charlotte gives chase from third with Euclid to the far outside, but AJ Destiny holds on to win by a half length over Mr. Magic. Euclid to the far outside may have rallied for third from Stormont Charlotte in 156-1.
Remember, like, a time when Henry used to actually pull off the rail, whenever he was fourth, and instead of just letting horse just sit there 8, 9, 10 lengths off the lead and keeping him in the whole time. I mean, I just don't even understand what's going on at this place right now. Meanwhile, my 5 rolls down the middle at 50-1 to be third.
But Mike, let's look back to who had who in race 7 at Mohawk.
Yeah, this is another $14 horse. It's gonna give, and the one got nothing.
Oh, I was just staring at Tony's 1 at the bottom of the screen. I was getting nauseous. I gotta make myself feel better by looking at my 8. There it is, 6-1. And that 38-1 shot got third. Ooh, the show price is gonna be so much better. Oh
52-1 shot got third.
Oh God. Why are we still on the air? Why don't we just get off the air now? While the going is good.
2 to go. You just went back to back, 10-1, 6-1.
Again, proving why I host the show and you don't.
Tony's in trouble now.
Tony's.
Who does he have in the last 2 races? Who does he have in the 8th?
Wait. Let's. The magic computer tells us he has the 2.
Okay, Matty's credit. He'll be a price in that one.
And
Who do you have?
I have the 7.
Okay. What about at the Meadowlands?
In race 8?
Yeah.
He has the 4.
Okay.
I have the 1.
Oh, okay. Well, the 1's 15-1. The 4's 4-1. So it's not quite over.
Wait, Rockin' Praline is 15-1?
Apparently, yes.
Are they?
JB Shooting Star 6-5.
Are they drunk?
It's early.
Must be early. So early that we have time to talk about the Rosecroft pick 4.
So that was a good start. I did not use the 8 in my ticket, so once again, I can't get out of leg 1 in any multi-leg sequence. So I'm just doing fabulous work.
I want you to keep that fabulous work up, Mike, because with the mic up,
Anyway,
I got the mic up to my mouth as we're trying to introduce this next race.
let's go. Rosecroft.
Rosecroft race 7.
Sunday.
Race 7 at Rosecroft starts the pick 4. $50,000 guaranteed pool for this pick 4. Again, it starts. Wait, no,
no guaranteed pool.
You're so right. I thought it was the Meadowlands. Hold on, Mike. I need to just take a minute to do a lap. I need to do this. I need to take a lap because I don't know what planet I'm on. I'm riding this high of being the best ever to be born, and I gotta take a little victory lap.
It's not over yet. Don't take the victory lap until it's over.
No. See, this is the start of the lap. Okay. Wait, you're coming with me on this little victory lap.
It's not over.
Wait. Okay. And And we're back where we started. Okay. So now that I got that out of my system, who are you again? We're at Rosecroft, the track, the Maryland track, where it's a 50-cent minimum. That's where my brain was trying to go. 50-cent minimum in the pick 4 at Rosecroft. Introduced last week, remaining this week, so we can only presume that it did all right, since they didn't just.
It's back.
Since they didn't nix it in the first week, they didn't magic it, they didn't Lakers it.
Handle Rosecroft's been well over 300,000 on almost every race card here now, so they're really doing very well, and they have full fields. So
they do have full fields and usually pretty tough races.
Very tough races.
Very tough races. This first leg of the pick 4 seems like a tough race. Sure, you have Arctic Adventure to the inside on the class drop, but that last race leaves a lot to be desired. So I imagine that you could go somewhat deep in this first leg.
I was 3 deep, but you have to. I think the 2 is a must use after a couple of those wins for those numbers of 7 life, and then had the outside post in an open handicap, and did pass a horse late. That was a fast race though, 52-3. It's just, I don't know. I can't, this is a drop for this horse, and it is a use for me. The one, Dancing on a Star, another one that was racing in those numbers of 7s, it ended up in the numbers of 6,000 last time. It finished second, lost to Prince Clyde, who's an upper level type. Won 5 times last year, draws inside. That one's a use. And then the 5, Beau Breeze. This horse is stepping up the ladder. Just raced for numbers of 4,000 the last 4, and finished second, just missing. Won 12 times last year. Loves this racetrack. This horse is 4-1 morning line. Would nowhere close to that. It's probably going to be 15 plus. But 31% barn. Just he's one of those. If he gets the setup, he has a chance. 1-2-5.
I end up using Arctic Adventure in this spot. And outside of him, I agree with you on Beau Breeze. That horse, last out, raced really well to finish second, coming off cover, especially at odds of 19-1. The fact that he outperformed his odds is also appealing as he moves up in class. But outside of him, I also throw on American Rock, who won at this level last out, given fairly fast fractions to open the first half, and then he kind of was just in the right place at the right time to win the race. But he's been moving up the class ladder nonetheless. He put in a great effort 2 starts back when he didn't have that pace set up. He kicked off a helmet, came home in 27-3 to finish second by a length and a half. So I imagine that he probably belongs at this level, whether he gets a pace setup or not. If he does get a pace setup, that just works out better for him. But if not, he's probably still going to be involved. So I'm 2-5-6 in the first leg of that pick 4. Second leg then is race number 8. It is not winners of 2, but not more than 3. All right. We see these conditions time and time again. I don't want to see anyone who's won more than 3 races, lifetime especially.
And you don't.
We shouldn't. So you, Mike, you've won more than 3 races lifetime. So I don't know how you're allowed to bet this race, but I'm assuming you are, and wondering how deep.
2 deep, and it's the 2 horses that have won 3 races lifetime. The 2, Where's My Money, has won 2 straights, draws inside, and looks, has been winning from off the pace. Looks every bit the best in the race because it's been beating these ones already. And then the 8, Precision Blue Chip, another one that's won 3 times, albeit it only took 47 races to do that. But was only beaten a length and 3/4 to the 2 last time. Does move outside, but seems to like to leave the gate early. Has responded to Lasix and has improved. His 3rd start with that now. We'll see. 2-8.
I definitely understand the 2. The 8 I'm somewhat back and forth on, just because those last quarters he's losing ground. That doesn't really look good to me. I want to see a horse that's able to gain some ground in the most important part of the race when they're coming towards the finish. I really don't see why you can't single Where's My Money. The only difficult reason why you should, or the one reason why you probably shouldn't, is the fact that he's usually coming from off the pace, and that puts him in a precarious spot typically. So if you find a horse that you want to sit kind of towards the front, I kind of like Application. 2 starts back, raced towards the front, but then didn't really have much left in the stretch. He finished 6th, but last out, off a pylon trip, gained 4 lengths in the stretch to finish 5th. So perhaps if he doesn't have to traverse as much traffic as he did or potentially did in that race, he might be able to pick up the pieces and hit the wire at the right time if Where's My Money doesn't get rolling soon enough. Because they're off at the Meadowlands. Oh no! That's the sound of the gate going. Uh-oh, the race is off and pacing. With to the inside, Rockin' Praline pushing out for position. American Sarah then secures the pocket into the first turn. JB's Shooting Star away third is a darker shade of pale on the right line there, getting away into fourth to the opening quarter. JB's Shooting Star now out of third, slingshotting towards Rockin' Praline to try and take the lead through a 27-2 opening quarter. Meanwhile, Carousel races in fifth, sudden passing, then back sixth. Seventh away, Sweet She Rock. Eighth comes Quite a Sight, an Exotic Dance. Last of the nine up the backside with JB's Shooting Star. In front by two, Rockin' Praline tightening in the pocket. American Sarah racing third. Outside comes Darker Shade of Pale to supply cover to sudden passing through a 55-2.5. 28 seconds that second quarter. Carousel then shuffled to sixth into the far turn. Seventh outside, Sweet She Rock races third over, gapped 2 lengths, Quite a Sight. Penultimate and Exotic Dance races fourth over is the trailer. Around the far turn, JB's Shooting Star leads only by a length as Darker Shade of Pale draws closer. Rockin' Praline in a tight spot in the pocket, waiting for racing room as sudden passing. Tips 3 high for Gingras, coming to 3/4 in 1:23 and 4, 28 and 2. JB's Shooting Star looking to finish the job. Rockin' Praline to the inside, looks for room. Sudden passing has that room, coming down the center of the course. Sudden passing, trying to get past JB's Shooting Star as Rockin' Praline now has a seam at the inside. Sudden passing, sliding closer. JB's Shooting Star clinging to the lead. Rockin' Praline finishing strong, but sudden passing pushes past them all to win by a length. JB's Shooting Star second, Rockin' Praline third, and 1:52-1.
Okay, so 3-1, and there he draws a little closer to you now. That makes that last race matter.
The 10-1 got third. That's gonna help me.
That will help you. You're right. You're with the 2 favorites. So,
Yeah.
but he's still gonna. He's probably gonna be within range here, I would think.
And
Maybe not, but it's gonna be close.
Yeah, you say that so that way you go into the last race thinking, oh, we gotta watch this race, but really, I have it sealed. I have it sealed.
You might have it sealed. What does he have in the last?
At where?
At Mohawk, because he only has one more race.
Oh, you're right.
He has Maddie's credit 5-1, and Outlaw Fireball is 5-2. So.
Oh wow, really?
Probably would need the horse to drift up a little to win.
Yeah, I'm surprised that that JF Gagne horse is taking so much money.
Yeah.
Huh.
Don't Bruce Carey 8-1. Longest shot. My pick 3 survives too. Oh God, this pick 4, it's gonna make me really sick.
Well, please get sick after you're on.
Let's continue.
I don't want to finish that sentence. That sentence was never meant to be finished. It shouldn't have started. Race 9 at Rosecroft. Third leg of the pick 4. Nowers of 4,000. Their last 4 starts for a purse of $7,000. 9 horses going postward here, Mike.
Big. I was very deep in here. I was 5 deep. The one, Uncle Cause. This horse was okay last time at the level. Finished third. Made up a bunch of lengths in the stretch. Really never had to leap the rail to do that. But did win 4 back. Draws inside here. And, Robert's thick. So he drives his horse best. We'll use that one. The 2 Rusties, Houdini. Wide trip last time for the 9 hole. No chance for the 8 hole. 2 back. 1 at the numbers at 12-5, 3 back from an inside post, and draws inside here. So that one's a use. The 4 Motor City Marco comes from Yonkers. Really a 7 hole there. Just toss that race. This horse is lightly raced. Only 1 race last year. Has 7 so far this year. And, was racing well at Rosecroft prior to going to Yonkers. Sean Beers driving very well. We use that one. And then the 2 outside horses. The 8 Rock Icon. Had 10 wins last year, wide trip last time, was right there at numbers of 2,500 on February 19th when, flying out early. I think I know this is numbers of 4,000, but there's not a lot of those numbers of 4,000 horses in this race. So, I think that this horse can play. And then the 9, Electric Connection, raced well last time, 3 back, and it's going to be a price. This horse needs a trip from off the pace, but again, I feel like it's wide open. 1, 2, 4, 8, 9.
What definitely makes this race wide open also is the fact that this is an hours of 4,000, but you have a lot of horses racing here that aren't the strongest at an hours of 4,000.
That's my opinion too.
Yeah, and so I initially, like at first glance, a horse like Rusty's Houdini doesn't necessarily appeal to me because every time he'd been racing best at hours of 12.5, but he also seems to have some excuses, especially since 2 starts back he had post 8 and he kind of finished the race somewhat strong. But also he finished the race strong enough, comparable to every other horse in this field that's competed at this level ever. So it almost fits this level more than the horse's ability should. And that's why I ended up ultimately taking Rusty's Houdini as one of my 3 horses in this race. I also like Motor City Marco shipping back to Rosecroft. Clearly was outclassed up at Yonkers, so perhaps the return to this surface where he'd raced well in the past will wake him up here. And in between them, I'm going to try Last Shot Leeton for a bit of a price, making a second start off of a 6 scratch. Prior to, against hours of 4,000, hours of 250, he'd been finishing fairly decently, finishing second, hitting the board, going to the lead, showing some speed, ultimately just not really racing at the right parts of the mile, if that makes sense. So he gets an inside draw here, should be a bit sharper second start off the scratch, and maybe work something out. He's going to be more of a factor than his odds will most likely show, and that's why I feel like he's worth taking a shot. So I'm going to go 2, 3, 4 in leg 3, making the final leg race number 10 for a purse of $8,000. Winners of 4, but not more than 6. Okay? We've been over this before. We've been over this again. We'll be over it again in the future. No more than 6. 9 horses going postward here, Mike.
A little chalky here. The 2 actually has 7 lifetime wins, so who knows if one is not pari-mutuel necessarily, but did dominate last time at 3 to 5, numbers of 2,500. Was racing okay at the numbers of 7 level, and draws inside. I would expect a very early position. And then the 3, Sweet Cruiser, who's second back off a break last time, but recovered to be 5th to get a check. Crushed the numbers of 2, no more than 4. And that was on February 23rd. And, as long as this horse behaves, I think it should be up close and have a big chance. So 2, 3.
Oh, that is incredibly chalky. Me, I agree on the 2. 2's a fairly simple one to have. Rocking the Shades has the appeal of a horse that pushes towards the front and sits close and then hopefully finishes the mile strongly. I have a hard time taking Sweet Cruiser because of that break. I feel like that this is going to be a softer mile they go this time around, and maybe he gets a trip like he did 2 starts ago to win. But it's a tough gamble to take, especially on a short price. I'd rather take a short price on Crush Hanover, who's at least been racing against tougher and still performing somewhat decently. He finished second to Art of a Warrior in this race last time out, missing only by a half length. And Art of a Warrior now with the disadvantage of post 9 to the far outside, and really outside of the 2 and the 4, it's a crapshoot from there, and I don't want to make my ticket $1,000, so I'm simply going 2-4 in the last leg to make my ticket as follows: for 50 cents, starting in race 7, I am 2-5-6 with 2-4. Did I use Changing Tide? I don't remember. I think I was only 2-4 with 2-4. So let me retry. 2-5-6 with 2-4. All right, you with me there? With 2-3-4 with 2-4. $18 for 50 cents. Mike, your ticket.
1-2-5 with 2-8 with 1-2-4-8-9 with 2-3. It's $30.
And what great timing, because the final leg of this week's Cap and Contest is going to the gate.
Yeah, you're up quite a bit. I think that you probably have it out of reach here. Maddie's credit right now 6-1. That is not enough.
I don't.
But we'll see.
Yeah,
we'll see.
We'll see. We'll stay on long enough where I can calculate the totals.
It's been a good contest, though. I mean, you guys both had horses that were very live in every race. You had that $22 horse that really made the big difference in it. So, well played, both of you.
Yeah. And I'm not gonna change minds in a day, and I'm not gonna change hearts in a year. But with my performance in this contest, I hope it teaches people stop betting favorites. They suck.
NAHU 3, everyone else 1 so far. Well, we'll see how this finishes, but so far that's the way it's looking.
So they're going to the gate. Favorite at 2-1, the 7 outlaw 5. Oh no, I have the favorite now? Oh.
Wow, the favorite. Should have the 1.
Second choice at 5-2, the 6 Case Shadow. Third choice at 7-2, the 5 Pretty Hot. I was gonna call this race with energy, but now I'm sad. Here they come. Okay. They're off and basing on the outside. Case Shadow showing us some speed, but Pretty Hot. Hustles from in between them with Don't Bruise. Carry to the inside, carrying some up early position. Maddie's Credit then away 4th. Around that first turn, Outlaw Fireball in 5th, Burn My Villa 6th, and last of all, Kiwi Focus. First quarter pops. 27-3. Pretty Hot into the backstretch. In front here by a length and a half with K's Shadow. In behind second. Racing a third. Then Don't Bruise Carry. Maddie's Credit. Lollygags in 4th. Outlaw Fireball 5th for JF Gagne. Looking to tip outside but with no cover to follow. Burn My Villa on that one's helmet 6th. And a Kiwi Focus in the back of the pack. Halftime clips 56-3. 29 seconds by Pretty Hot to the far turn. Case Shadow looms second. Here comes the rush from Outlaw Fireball from 4th into 2nd, and coming after Pretty Hot, the Fireball seizes the lead. Case Shadow shuffled back. Burn My Villa in behind as the fire heats to 3/4. 1:26-3, a 30-second split by Pretty Hot, bombarded by Outlaw Fireball. Inside now, K's Shadow tries to emerge. Outside of Burn My Villa and Maddie's Credit to the center of the track. Pretty Hot, though, stubborn on the lead. Outside Burn My Villa now sweeping up past everybody with K's Shadow to the inside. K's Shadow holds off Burn My Villa with Outlaw Fireball and Pretty Hot in 1:55 and 1.
There you go. Contest winner for Ray.
Yeah, but we have to figure out by how much. Let's. It's time to do some everyone's favorite segment on the show.
I don't think anybody cast here in the last, so that should make it fairly easy.
Well, I just want to figure out the definites, you know.
Okay, let's figure it out.
Okay, so it's time for another edition of everyone's favorite segment, NAHU Math. We have a theme song, but unfortunately, it was I didn't convert it to an MP3. It's an audio file that I cannot read. It's like a Quiggle or something like that. So we don't have the theme song. So it went something like. But of course, for longtime viewers of NAHU, they know the NAHU Math theme song. You're already doing the tallies?
Well, I am for him.
I was gonna say as I was taking all this time to explain.
He had Mystic Steelster, right?
Hold on. Yeah. I was gonna pull up the graphic. Okay, so if we do the tallies, which you're getting them all together?
For him, I am. You do yours.
Oh, okay. So, wait, I wanna pull this up on a little window. So if we do this, okay, and then we get the little window, and we get this, okay, and we did not come prepared to do NAHU because it's been so long since we've done this segment. It has to be 40 years since we've done the NAHU Math set. As much as everyone said, like, bring back NAHU Math. We loved NAHU Math. But every week it wasn't time. It was not time yet to bring it back. We did not feel like we really had to. But, Everyone wanted it so badly. Let's see here. Is that good? Is that good enough? Is that good enough? Is that gonna be good enough? Wait. Is that gonna be good enough? Okay. So I need to adjust this window. Technical difficulties. Please stand by. Bum ba da bum ba da ba da ba da da bum ba da ba bum ba da boo. Ah, screw it. I'm just gonna do my math. I want to make it a bit fancier. Okay, so at Mohawk, starting in race 4, I did not have a horse hit the board. My horse missed the board. So then race 5, that was Windsong Magnifique, which brought me $5 and $3.90. Wait, $5 and $3.90 for a total of $8.90 there. Okay.
So his total is
$58.20. Okay.
Yeah.
So then, in race 6 at Mohawk, I did not hit the board, but in race 7, I won $14.60. Okay. $14.60. $6.90. $5.70. Which totals? Let's see. So that's $6.60. $12.60.
Nobody really wants to watch us do math, so I'll hurry up.
Okay, well, hold on. 27.20, so then that is 36.10. Okay. And then I did not hit the board in that last race at Mohawk. People wanted... This is all about suspense, Mike, okay? People want to know how much I won by, and I'm holding off the fact that we know I won. This is...
We know.
No. It's not official. I know I was saying from the start I was the champion. I'm going to win, but it's not official yet. It's got to come official first. So then, Meadowlands. Race 4, I did not hit the board. Race 5, $4. Which put me right there. Okay. Then, race 6. Race 6.
You had Max Volo.
I had Max Volo. Okay, so that's $4.60.
You got 740.
$4.60 and $2.80. So $7.40 you said? Okay, so 50. And Tony's gonna want to go cry himself to sleep then. Okay. So then we got $22.80, $7.80, and $5. So that's what, $12.80, $13.60, $35.60. Okay, so that's $35.60. So that's 10.
And then you got 360 in the last race.
I got 360 in the last race?
Yes.
Oh yeah, because my horse hit the board.
So what'd you end up with?
Okay, so what did Tony get?
58.20.
And the winner with a total of 86.70 is Mr. Matt Raymond.
Yes. Excellent.
That's me. You chump. You little pipsqueak. I don't know. It's not a matter about playing fine, all right. People come up and they tweet at me. They tweet mean things at me, such as, "Hey, you want to have lunch sometime?" And also, you got eyes that are too close to each other. But the thing that gets on my nerves the most is that everyone thought I'm the easy pick. I'm not the easy pick. I'm the hardest pick you could possibly get. I am the snot in your nose that goes up the nostril when you try to get it out. I'm a little miscreant.
Go to NAHUpicks.com.
I'm
Go to NAHUpicks.
I am the crust in your eye that. Oh, I was trying to do a thing where we were both talking at the same time, but you were doing the thing that you're supposed to do, and I'm just talking garbage on Tony.
Thanks, Tony, for being in the contest. Rod will send you some stuff anyway, and you're in for the semis. And I think it's Hambo Day, or maybe it's Jug Day.
It's Jug
Hambo
Day.
Day for the semis, Jug Day for the final. Just keep that in mind.
I thought it was Jugette Day for the semis, Jug Day for the
Oh,
final.
we changed it.
Oh, okay. This sounds like something that I should have been at the meeting
You
for.
probably should have been in the loop on that one.
Yeah.
That was Rod doing that.
Ah, okay.
Anyway, go to NAHUpicks.com for new analysis at Hawthorne, Meadowlands, Mohawk, Rosecroft, Aces, all those places.
Well, running Aces opens towards May. Yeah.
It's coming.
May is coming.
Spring forward.
Oh, is that this weekend?
It is. Bye.
I don't want to spring forward. We want to thank everyone, most importantly, who is currently quarantined, that decided to spend the night with us. We're here mostly every week, so for as long as you are unable to leave the house by law, please watch us. You're our main audience. And also, for anyone who wants to try and beat me in a handicapping contest again, this is your lesson. Don't. Just don't. Don't even try. All right? It's not going to work. It worked for Ken because I felt bad for Ken. But I wanted to destroy. I tweeted, I can't believe we're going to witness a murder tonight, and I killed Tony. Someone call the fire department. He's not breathing. He's gone. You're a great sport, Tony. I'm only doing this because I hope you can take it. I hope. My career's probably over after this. All right, that's it. Good night. We're done. Bye. So long. Wave bye-bye, Mike. Bye-bye.